Hello and welcome back to the Coop De Villa Podcast. I'm Noah Fisher, joined by Jake Marriner and guest Owen Thompson. Boys, RB Salzburg 2, Aston Villa 3, other way around actually. I still can't believe that result. Getting straight into it. Team news comes out. Harvey Elliott starts, Jakey, and the memes on the comments on his Instagram, people saying, I thought he was dead. Where was he? But Harvey Elliott in the starting lineup.
Yeah, he's back from the dead. Just gonna have to start calling him the Undertaker now. No, it's good, very good to see him back in the starting lineup. It's been a fair while. I think it's been since the start of the season we haven't seen him. But
October, I believe. Yeah,
we know it could be related to his contract, to the clause in his contract. But it's good to finally see him getting some minutes.
And OT, George Hemmings obviously came into the lineup as well, playing alongside Amadou Onana. I guess that's something we all kind of predicted that would happen. But how do you see his 45 minutes?
He had a particularly interesting 45 minutes. Not really through any fault of his own, but sometimes like these players need to have these kind of games. It's bound to happen. And yeah, like I said, through no fault of his own, we were getting cut apart through the midfield in the first half. But it's a learning curve for him. He's now had a couple of games coming on the sub, and now he started the other night, and it's all valuable experience for him.
And as the game kind of went on, we had an early chance. Harvey Elliott, 30 seconds in, I believe, almost could have put the Demons to bed and put us 1-0 up, but obviously it wasn't to be. And we were very poor that first half, Jakey. We were extremely poor. And I mean, the first goal kind of speaks for itself. Tyrone Mings gets the ball caught from under his feet and tries to play it to Martinez, and the rest is history. I actually don't know if it was going in or not when Lindelof cleared it off the line. I guess it's one thing we'll never will know. But what a poor way to start.
It certainly looked like it was going in from my point of view. And when I saw it, it definitely looked like it was going in. He got to the ball and unfortunately just wasn't able to clear it off the line. But yeah, Tyrone Mings unfortunately would like to have his time again with that one. But having said that, he did make up for it later in the second half. But first half, I thought we were just really poor. We had possession wise, they just pressed up on us. And forced us into mistakes. But having said that, though, the second half we were able to get back on track.
And again, in the first half, we've seen what we're talking about injury every single podcast, OT. I guess one player that we didn't think we might be losing, but Ollie Watkins pulls up with a hamstring injury. I guess the one positive note is he does kind of play with it for around about 10 minutes. But, I mean, Eurotillen was 1 week, Kamara, McGinn, now Watkins. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Ollie Watkins injury?
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Those sorts of things are probably 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not a physio on that. That's not my area. But yeah, I think maybe a couple of weeks is probably what will come with that. Like Jake touched on in the first half, I think we were kind of just going with the flow a little bit. Obviously, someone will have been keeping an eye on the scores elsewhere, but most of the teams that were up there and having a go were all just kind of floating through the first half. Everyone was 0-0, I think, in the top 7, maybe. I think everyone was just kind of seeing who would make a move. And then I think pretty much once we went 1-0 down, everything seemed to open up and there was goals galore in the rest of the games. But yeah, it was very typical Emery, especially through Europe and at home, especially this campaign, kind of drift through the first half and then a couple of goals, couple of chances, take your chances and hope for the best. But yeah, because we had the kind of second string squad, as it were, we got caught up against it. But anyway, back to the point of Ollie, yeah, not ideal. And his injury record is pretty good. But I guess we dipped into the market at pretty much the perfect time.
Yeah, we have. And I guess we can talk on those two boys now quickly that we did get since the last pod came out. Officially, Tammy Abraham, Jakey, is an Aston Villa player. And alongside someone that I think we might know quite well, Douglas Luiz, obviously does rejoin the club. I mean, these two players, they're going to play a massive part in the back half of the season, aren't they?
Yeah, two players that obviously know the club very, very well. Obviously know the training facilities very well, but Douglas Luiz probably knows a little bit more than Tammy Abraham does, having been at the club more recently than Tammy. But having said that, though, Tammy will get very quick up to speed as to what's happening around the club at the moment, especially under Emery's reign. And to be quite honest, it's just great to have them back. It was great to see them around the pitch yesterday before the start of the game, signing autographs, taking photos, so on and so forth. It's just really great to have them back inside the stadium, and I can't wait to have them back ready, hopefully for Brentford on Monday morning.
And OT, I guess you kind of did touch on it, but getting into halftime at 1-0 down, probably a blessing, to be honest with you, because that easily could have been 2 or 3-0, to be honest. Like, we were extremely poor, and I mean, Emery kind of does what Emery does. Going in at 1-0, I guess he would have been not happy, but not that disappointed with how bad it could have been.
Yeah, I guess the bigger picture was we were through. And I know it was that we could try and get top 2, but ultimately we were through. And as you could probably use the Champions League as an example, it doesn't really matter where you finish. So I think Liverpool have got potentially really tricky ties, and used them last year. They finished top and ended up with PSG straight away because they had a pretty poor campaign. It's like you're going to play a tough team eventually, but he likes to maintain his positive Villa Park record, even given the fact there wasn't a fat lot riding on the game. So yeah, I don't think he will have gone in and blown up like I'm sure he has done in previous weeks, but yeah, he won't have been too impressed that we could have been considerably worse off than we were, given we only really had that one chance right at the start.
And Jake, he gets goes from bad to worse, I guess. I mean, I was messaging you, OT, during the game, but it just seemed like that second goal was just so easy. And as soon as that second goal did go in, I was like, "Oh, we're done." Like, it just was such a flattening moment. But that second goal, I guess, well worked from RB Salzburg, but I thought quite poor defensively from our behalf.
Yeah, it just seems it just seemed to suck the whole life out of the stadium. Once we start to get on a bit of a roll and the crowd starts to get involved, that's when we start to produce some of our best football. But that second goal just sort of seemed to suck the life out of the stadium. And sometimes it's our own. Sometimes it is our own doing. But yeah, for us, we needed to respond for that, and that wasn't the way to respond early in the second half.
I mean, I guess the way we did respond, we started talking about some positive things about Aston Villa, OT. I mean, that first Morgan Rogers goal, what a well, I guess, worked goal with Emi Buendia. He just seems to be going from strength to strength this season, and I mean, that's just a lovely finish on his left from Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, he's you could tell he was reading the game 3 steps ahead of everyone else. He was the brightest player on the pitch, and I know he came on in pretty unfortunate circumstances given the injury, but you could tell when we made most of the subs that the real kind of quality shone through. I'm glad Onana isn't injured as well. That's a pretty big one because the midfield is a bit fragile at the moment. But yeah, good goal. The two kind of real shining lights so far this season combining well, and it pretty much got us on the front foot then for the rest of the game.
I mean, as you said, that kind of goal was the massive turning point, and from that moment, I was like, "Geez, can we?" I didn't think we would win the game. I thought, "Geez, it's going to be tough from here." Half an hour to go, we got to be very, very good. But you get a second goal, Jakey, with a well-delivered ball in from Matty Cash, who, in my opinion, has been player of the season for me. I think he's been outstanding this year. And Tyrone Mings gets his first goal since 2023. I believe it was Fulham at home was the last goal he scored. Someone at his height, you'd think he'd be scoring more goals than that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, at 6'5", you sort of tend to tower over defenders, but they're obviously getting bigger and stronger across the European competition and obviously domestic leagues. These centre backs, but very, very good for Tyrone Mings to get on the score sheet. He's been at the club for a long time. He was saying in the interview that with Alan McInally on Villa TV last night that he once he knew that he could get on the end of it, that wasn't going to stop him, and he was always going to get to the keeper before was going to get to the ball before the keeper. So a very, very well worked goal, and very thoroughly deserved considering that what he did in the first half, because that was horrendous, and I felt that he had a lot to make up for that. So great to see that he was able to respond. I think also in the interview that he did say that Emery did put a rocket up him at at halftime as well. So so it sort of put a bit of fire under him to go and get that goal to get us back.
I mean, every year, like we think, geez, Tyrone Mings might not be at it. You know, have we gone past him as a team, grown past him? But as you also said in an interview, question my ability, don't question my mentality. I mean, that bloke has come back from some severe injuries over his time, not only at Aston Villa, but he was at Bournemouth. And I mean, I still think he can do a job for us. I really do. I mean, as you said, his mentality is through the roof, and he would have been gutted with the way that first goal went in. I mean, he just got stuck in two minds and whatnot. But I mean, OT, he's been at Aston Villa for so long. He knows the club well, knows the support as well. And I mean, he's going to be so crucial in the back half of the season, isn't he, in this European campaign?
I think, given the fact he's been there for so long, he is someone you can rely on now. I know he does have those moments, and whenever there is a kind of interesting one with Mings, it's normally pretty rogue, pretty out there. Like, you go back to the Bruges thing, but you can always count on his reliability. And he used the Newcastle game last week, for example. I had absolutely no doubt when he came on what his role was and that he would do his role. It was quite simple in that Newcastle had brought Walter Marder on up front, and he was going to win that battle with him in the air because they were just trying to knock everything long. And he did. And as you'll all know from the lockdown season, all he would do is just bark out orders for endless amounts of time. So I think you can't question his mentality. Like, he spent a whole season out with a horrible injury and then come back and still defends like the player we all know from all them years ago.
And we'll talk on the future of Aston Villa because, I mean, they played a pretty big part in the game, I guess you might say. The academy just seemed to be going from strength to strength, and it proved again with Jimoh-Aloba. I mean, first of all, he's hit Jakey in the 60th minute that fizzed over the bar with the touch from the keeper. I mean, geez, he could be some player, couldn't he?
What a way to introduce yourself. Young kid on a European stage, and then you're hitting one from outside the box. I mean, that's pretty ballsy for any young kid. No time to get yourself a feel for the game. Get a couple of passes together. Straight off the bat, just wanting to hit the target and get us back level. And then a really cool finish for the third goal as well. For a young kid, his eyes would have lit up, and he just wanted to put it back in the back of the net. But it was such a cool finish for his goal. One that's probably for many more to come, and just the elation on the young man's face.
It's just absolute celebrations as well. Like, I'm not sure I've seen Villa Park like that for a long time as well. Like, it just meant so much, not only to him, but to the whole team and to the crowd. And obviously, I've seen Max's video OT, and it was just everyone was so. It's just such a massive goal. I mean, getting top 2 in the Europa League is nothing to really to hold down. Like, it's such a big moment. But I'm not sure it's the player. Like, if someone else has scored, it will be celebrated as much. But I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words on the moment. How do you kind of describe it?
I think the fact it comes from Caden Young as well.
Yeah.
The whole move was made from those two, really. And sorry, my thing just pinged. It's a brilliant moment. And like you said, you can't really put into words like the sense of like jubilation and emotion outpour. Like, it wasn't like a huge moment, last minute goal, the place goes mad. But yeah, like I said, I think because it was him that scored, it could have been either of them that scored. And the confidence that will do him, given the fact that he has won everything at youth level, the confidence that will do him is wonders. And eventually down the line, that's someone that who and I could probably go, you know what? Yeah, I trust that you can go on and make a huge impact on this game, so we can throw you on. Talking very briefly of our academy, this could haunt me, but we are currently 1-0 up against our unpleasant neighbours.
I did see that. Bradley Burrows, I think.
With about 3 minutes to go. So if that does go wrong in the next 3 minutes, I'm awfully sorry.
We'll go to a couple of questions we've got from the live chat. One about Harry Wilson. I guess I got you first, Jakey. Would you take Harry Wilson?
To be quite honest, I don't know enough about him, to be quite honest with you. If someone can give me a bit of a background, I might be able to answer. But yeah,
he's just an out-and-out winger. Was on Liverpool's books for a while. I mean, OT, do you know? Well, I guess what you can touch on the player Harry Wilson is he is having some sort of year. Harry Wilson, I think he'd do a great job for us.
I was going to say, what I do know about Harry Wilson is he's currently having an absolute blinder of a season. So I don't know what Fulham, it would seem, want to keep him. There's no noise around him, and there's 2 days to go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe if he continues, that's going to haunt Fulham a bit, given the fact he's in his last year of his contract. They probably should have wanted to get him tied down. Potential, I think he kind of fits the bill of the player that we like to take on.
Yeah.
Like, he's not an out-and-out winger, but he's not a straight-out central midfielder. I think he can play in the 10 and slightly out wide as well. He kind of roams around and does what he wants to. So, yeah, there's a potential.
I mean, I think when he played against us for Derby all those years ago, he was playing as number 10 alongside Mason Mount. Obviously, how things have turned for both teams. I mean, they've just signed Oscar Bob. Fulham have just signed Oscar Bob from Man City. And, I mean, if he's available, I wouldn't be saying no. We are quite not stacked in those areas, but Leon Bailey's come back. And, I mean, he's very versatile, Harry Wilson, so definitely I would take him. Another question coming in from... what do you got?
I was going to say, the beauty of it, and I think it leads in nicely to the next question, the beauty of it is if we do end up getting the Champions League this year, whether it be winning the Europa or position qualified, we can effectively pick and choose who we want, unless someone like Liverpool goes back in for him or Man City or whatever. But if we would knock off any competition that aren't in the Champions League for him, just because that is ultimately the pinnacle of it. And I was going to say, I'll let Jake take the answer on this question. For a few minutes.
Sorry, mate. So this guy, you might know him, OT, but Nick Thompson.
Is that me in the photo?
What's the priority this season? League position, FA Cup, or Europa League, Jakey? I guess, where do you kind of see this one?
I think I would be going. I would be getting. I would be still getting the Champions League spot in the Premier League. I think it's a lot to be able to try and get all the way to the final and win Europa League. And yes, we do want to win a trophy, but first and foremost, we want to be back in Champions League football next season. You don't want to be sort of like that Tottenham, where they win Europa League and they come back up to the Champions League and they struggle in the domestic competition. So I still think it's important that we try and consolidate our spot. I know we're quite a way away from fourth and fifth and the rest of the pack, but still quietly important to maintain our position in the Premier League in the top three. But having said that, if we went all the way to win Europa League, if we did, then I would definitely not be complaining.
Oh, no. And before I go to my answer, OT, what is Birmingham equalised in that Youth Academy game, have they?
90th minute.
Are they winning? Oh,
no. They've just equalised. Sorry, everyone.
That's all right. It is a big derby, It's we don't get to play very often, so I think we did absolutely pump them in the academy a couple of months ago, didn't we?
Yeah, was that the one when they didn't post the score?
Yeah, they didn't post the score. They said we're underway at Bodymore Heath.
Yeah.
I would take all three. I mean, if you offer me one of these right now, I would be handing for it. Yeah, like if someone offered me the FA Cup, I'd take the FA Cup. Obviously, I want to win the Europa League. I think the Europa League is more important because you get the Champions League football. But if you offer me sixth place, I guess you could say, and winning the Europa League, I mean that's wonders.
Would you take sixth place in the cup?
From where we are now, probably not. To be honest, I know I said taking all three, but I mean we're so close to Champions League football. To miss out on it again would be absolutely heartbreaking. I don't actually see a place right now. I'm going to sound a bit like Dan Rollinson, but I don't think there's a way that we miss out on Champions League football. I think the way we're playing right now and the manager we've got and the mentality that we're playing with, I don't think there's a way we do drop out of the top five. But I also see us winning the Europa League. I really do. I think we're so strong in this competition. We have an absolute legendary manager in this league and in the competition as well. And yeah, I don't know. I just think we'll do it.
I just think that the league position will take care of itself eventually.
Yeah.
And it is still quite an important thing because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and go hell for leather and not happening and then leave yourself wide open.
Yeah.
Where you could potentially miss out altogether. But yeah, if we did win the Europa League, then I'd be more than happy. But yeah, still league position's got to be paramount.
I think I was going to say I'll agree with you there, Jake. I think ultimately the way football is now, the money, the pulling power, and everything that clubs do is centered around European competition. Obviously the emphasis is not on the conference. Like you could get 11 from your local estate that would probably have a good go in the Conference League. Like I know there's always been discussions like how many teams in the Premier League currently could you drop in the Conference League and they have a real good go at it, and you've got to be looking at about 10 or 11 of the teams.
Everyone but Wolves, mate, would have a crack.
The Norwegian Farmers League.
Exactly. But yeah, the Champions League is where if you want to progress as a club, and even like behind the scenes at the football club from the financial aspect, the Champions League is huge. Like with the numbers this year that had been released, and from a footballing perspective, maybe Heck didn't do an awful lot wrong in terms of the revenue. Yes, he completely killed fans with the prices, and that's not good. But then when you see the numbers come out, and you go, well, hang on, we've made 350 million or whatever it was in revenue turnover in 12 months, and that's down to the Champions League, then, okay, maybe not. But I guess if we were to, you'd certainly take the FA Cup. I mean, you look at Palace, that was a complete once-in-a-lifetime moment for a lot of them. But it needs to come with something for the Champions League. Now, like you said, I think we will have enough to be in that top five anyway. But yeah, I think the FA Cup of those three is probably the least of the priorities. But the way it's going at the moment, very similar to last year, we're coming up against Premier League teams that are uninterested. And if you look at Newcastle's run starting from tomorrow, surely the least of their concerns is Villa away in the FA Cup. Like they've got some horrid fixtures, and it's just the 9-hour flight to their Champions League game or whatever it is. So
no, you're not wrong. I do completely agree with you there. I mean, it's going to be interesting back end of the year. We obviously still have so much football to play. Roger again comes into the question. Is Harvey Elliott worth, he said 35 million? Probably to someone. I don't think he's worth 35 million to Aston Villa Football Club. I don't think there's a way that he turns this around and we do buy him. I think it's written in the stars thing. We all know kind of how that's going to end. He might play a few more games. I think he has 5 more to play before he does reach the 10-game mark, I think. But there's no way, guys, that Harvey Elliott is Aston Villa play next season, is there? And what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think so.
What do you think, AT?
Yeah, I don't. I think he looked quite sharp last night, but I just don't think that sort of money, given how we do our transfers at the moment, is I think, and using last night, I think he just wants to play.
Yeah.
And I think he was really happy that he was able to play last night. And I think he had a good game. I said he should have scored. So
I feel for him. I just think Liverpool and Villa should talk about removing the clause. Let him play football because obviously there's no clause there. He's going to play. Like he would have played weeks ago. We had midfield crisis for such a long time, and you just got to feel for the player in this situation. Like I just feel for Harvey Elliott because, as you said, I tell you, like he just wants to play football. And Jakey, there is a good player in there. There really is a decent player in there, but I mean, it'll be at a different club that's not Aston Villa.
Yeah, like, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that he comes with plenty of potential. You know, he's shown glimpses of it when he's been at the club. But I just think with us and you know, and a permanent and that permanent price tag, I just don't think think it's worth spending that sort of money on him. You know, Kevin Jeans raises a pretty good point as well, is that Liverpool won't help Aston Villa. We're above them in the league. Yeah, they're definitely not going to be doing us any favors for him. But yeah, it's a detrimental to what is a pretty promising player. He's definitely got the potential, but he just needs game time.
Yeah, I mean, someone else that needs game time that has left Aston Villa. Crystal Palace obviously confirmed the loan signing of Evan Gessond, £2 million loan fee with a 28 million option to buy. I think if certain things are met, he will be a Crystal Palace player permanently. OT, it is someone that they did want in the summer, and we beat them to the signature of this great man that wears Timbers when he plays football. Obviously, he's now gone to Crystal Palace and he'll score 10 goals the back half of the year, won't he?
Well, given they wanted him in the summer, surely having seen what he's done at Villa was enough to go, maybe we dodged a bullet there. Now, they've gone from Eze, Elise, and Mateta to currently Gessond, Brennan Johnson, and absolutely no one else because Mateta's off.
Yeah.
He is not in the squad. He doesn't want to be there. He has no interest.
Yeah.
What are they doing in that boardroom? Like, what are the discussions that they are having? I know the manager doesn't want to be there, and I think he's probably gone about everything the wrong way. But
Yeah,
who has sat down and gone, wow, he's a good football player? Now, I know from Villa's perspective, it's, look, he's not going to get game time with us recalling Bailey. But seriously, who sits there and goes, I think we'll take him. I think he's a good player. And 28 million.
We spent 30 on him.
Yeah, but we didn't know he was rubbish.
Can we use that in a TikTok later in the week?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
We've got to use that. That is unbelievable.
And I had high hopes for him. He looked good in France, but then it makes you think, who else could look good in France if he can look good in France? Actually, I'm being harsh. He tried. No, he didn't. He didn't try at all. What am I on about? He walked around the pitch. Yeah, well, anyways, they've got themselves an absolute bargain there.
They have. I think that we could have on 50 or 60 million. Roger again with another. He's got a couple of questions here. We'll go to this one first. With everyone fit, what's our best midfield? Jimoh-Aloba, George Hemmings, and Caden Young for me in the future. Now, obviously, I mean, it's good to have options. Like anyone that comes in the Unai Emery midfield system, in my opinion, does a good job. Tielemans, Kamara, McGinn, Onana. Like I don't want to leave any of them out because every time that we play that, like for example against Arsenal at home, we played those four midfielders: Kamara, Tielemans, McGinn, and Onana, and we ran the show. But in other weeks, we play three of them, and it does well. So it might, I mean, put 3-4 of them in there. They'll do a great job. Do I think Douglas Luiz is in our best midfield when everyone's fit? I don't.
No.
I don't. But boy, will he do a job now, Jakey.
Yeah, he'll definitely be an impact player off the bench. for the remainder of the season, I reckon. I just think with who we've got in the midfield to come back, I think he'll be really, really handy off the bench. I think my midfield, I'm still going with Kamara, McGinn, and Tielemans. I think Tielemans, just the way that he uses the ball, I think is still second to none. The way that he can deliver a pass over the top through to our forwards is just is a class above. McGinn, so difficult to get him off the ball. He's just sticks that big ass out and just protects it with his life. It's really funny to watch. But he's so hard to move, and if you do move him, you end up fouling him because he just shields it so well. And he's very, very tough in midfield, and he also defends really well as well. He's not scared of a challenge. He's your typical old school footballer. He's not afraid to put in a challenge, and he normally times them pretty well. And then Kamara, again, just like Tielemans, he really good by foot. And he's got the tank to do it. So I think those are my main ones. I hate to leave Onana out because he's such an imposing figure. But yeah, it's hard to leave him out. But yeah, Douglas Luiz will get some game time in there, and he will do a job. It might take him a little bit to get back into the swing of things, but I still think he'll be really, really good for us.
And I'd say, what's your banker for our best midfield?
I think you have to kind of gauge who we're playing against. I think if you're going off pure ability alone, I think our best three is Kamara, Onana, and Tielemans. But as Jake said, the presence that McGinn can have, and when he's having a good game, he is sensational, and he's important for us going forward. I don't think you could play Kamara, Onana, and Tielemans just on their own as a three. I think it's very not negative mindset, but not as an advanced mindset as we would like. I think having that extra one in McGinn, like we did against Arsenal, allows two of them to clean up in front of the back four, and then Tielemans and McGinn to go clearing off up the other end of the pitch. But it's always a good kind of, I know they're all injured, but when they are all fully fit, that's a good problem to have for Emery. Going, right, this is the game we're playing today. This is how this team sets up. This is the midfield I want to play. And again, they can all benefit from each other if they need to come off the bench as well. If we're struggling for a goal, you throw him again on, and you can bring him on, and if we pop one in, then he can see out the game and run all over the place with the ball. Onana isn't afraid of a tackle, and Kamara can run the show half asleep. Like, he can do it all. All of them are injured, apart from Onana. But yeah, like Jay said, I think Luiz is a sensible signing, and he'll slot straight back in.
And another one from Roger. I mean, for me, I think it's an easy answer for me. I've been a big Ian Maatsen fan for a very, very long time since we signed him. I think he does start the Europa League final if it was tomorrow. What do you guys think, OT?
He likes to start Maatsen in the Europa League, but I think if we got to the final, he'd just be slightly more reserved and go Dean, I think. But I don't get paid to do what he does. So.
And Jackie, what do you do?
Yeah, I think I got to go with Owen on this one. I think I just think Ian Maatsen, he is a very, very good fullback. But yeah, I still think you got to go with experience there. In Luca Dean. I mean, he's been there for France. And you just got to start the game well. You've just got to go with your experience, with your most experienced 11. I think Maatsen has the ability to have that experience, but I think he still may take a little. He's still a little bit of wet behind the ears yet. But having said that, there's sort of two players that you can just you can take on and off, and you probably wouldn't bat an eyelid and think they're the same person sometimes.
And we'll quickly move on to Sunday. Brentford come to Villa Park. Do a quick preview for Brentford. They're currently sat in 8th. They're the most weird team this season. I mean, Igor Thiago scored a crap ton of goals. What's he on like now? How many goals is he on now? 16 Premier League goals this season.
Is he like the third top scorer or something?
I think he's actually second, which is ridiculous. Something that no one really knew about. Come off an ACL injury as well. OT, are you going to be at the game on Sunday?
I am. And actually, no, I won't say any more on the matter. That's not for me to disclose. But yes, I will be at the game.
OT's going to be at the game. It's a 1 a.m. kickoff Monday morning for us, Jakey.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess, how do you guys see the game unfolding? I mean, as I said, Brentford's such a weird team. They could come out and score 5 goals and we go, yeah, it's Brentford. They kind of play that football. Sade and Igor Thiago, they're very, I guess, massive on their attacking front. But, I mean, we've seen them concede a lot of goals as well. But, Jake, I guess, where do you think we can win this game?
We just got to start well. We often let teams get the jump on us, and we struggle. I think it takes us a while to get into the game, and before you know it, we're 1-0 down and we're chasing the game. It's happened a fair bit this season where we've conceded and then come back and eventually we've won the game. But I think we've got to start well. Brentford are one of those teams where I said a couple of weeks ago, they're like Everton. If you give them a sniff, they are very, very hard to topple. And they've sort of got the wood over us a little bit recently. They knocked us out of the Carabao Cup, which we probably had a rotated squad in from memory. But they also beat us in the Premier League as well. So they'll be looking to come to Villa Park and do the double overs, or if you really want to get technical, do the triple over us. But yeah, I think we've just got to start well. And yeah, if we can get away to a good start, get an early goal, I think that'll quell any issue, any risings from Brentford, and we should be able to, throw on a couple more. But they are a team to watch. They are very good on their day. So yeah.
OT, the second homecoming, Tammy Abraham, expect Douglas Luiz to play as well. Jeez, Villa Park's going to be a special place on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I think people are going to be up for it. I think it's pretty. I would suspect Tammy will start now, given Watkins' situation. Luiz will have to go straight in. We've got no choice. But yeah, Brentford are a strange team. I've just looked through their form here. They've lost the last 2 without scoring. And then before that, they didn't lose for 6. And then before that, they won 1 in 5. So it's like, well, if they're rolling with it, they're very good. And if they're struggling, they're really struggling. I think he's going to want a reaction after the Everton game. Yeah. I know we went to Newcastle and did the job, but at home, I think he wants us to go, right, okay. Thursday wasn't pretty, but I think he would probably want us to go out there, control the game, and let everyone know that Villa Park is what Villa Park has been like for the past 2 years. And you have to do something serious, or we have to be massively off it for you to get anything out of the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And as Duncan says here, I also expect Leon Bailey to start as well. Just the way he hasn't played, I guess, since the Newcastle game, had the Europa League game last night. I mean, I keep forgetting we get Leon Bailey back. It's such a weird feeling because that season he was such a good player. The year we got Champions League football, he was such a good player and such an important player. And my boy Jadon Sancho, I think, will be rested. I do think he deserves a rest. I think he's playing some good football, Jadon Sancho, but a team like Brentford, I think you want to go at them with pace. And I mean, imagine Leon Bailey getting in behind and Tammy Abraham's there to square it in the box or cross it into him. I think it's going to be a great sight to see on Sunday.
Could you imagine Tammy Abraham scoring in front of the Holt end on his return and Owen just jumping jumping the hoardings and getting on.
If I jump the hoardings where I sit, I'll be in hospital.
I was going to say, I have seen Owen get pretty limsy up there, but I'm not sure jumping the. I'm not sure it'd be a good idea if he does that. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Tammy Abraham score a goal in general. I mean, a hat trick would be nice from Duncan, but yeah, I mean, we can go into some score predictions. OT to you first. Get your crystal ball out. You're very good at predictions. What's going to happen?
I'm going to agree with a comment.
Oh,
and I'm going to say...
Don't agree with him. Not that bloke. Seriously.
I am going to go 3-1 Villa because, like you said, Noah, they do have a couple. Well, I say a couple. They've got a good enough squad to score against anyone. Granted, they haven't scored in 2 games, but we find a way to always concede.
We do.
So,
Jakey?
yeah, I'll go 3-1.
What do you reckon?
I think it's going to be a bit more of a tighter affair there. I never like to agree with Peter Caulfield. I think he's definitely not a good bloke at all. Just kidding. Love him. I'm still going to go 2-1. I'm still going to go 2-1 us. I think it'll be a bit more of a tight contest. I think Brentford, despite being in 8th position, they're a bit of a formidable task when they're really good. They're really good and they have capability of toppling us. But as I've said most weeks, any club who comes and plays at Villa Park, just like Salzburg did last night, will want to come and knock us off. It is such a hard place to knock us off at Villa Park. And I reckon Brentford will be up for it, particularly knowing that if they do get 3 points, it'll throw them right back in that top 5 race. If results go their way, so I still think we'll get the 3 points and I'll get the job done. But yeah, 2-1 for me.
And I'm mixed emotions about this. I was looking at Dickie's comment 4-0 like we did against Bournemouth. I thought, geez, that's possible. I mean, we just turn it on. We can beat anyone by a lot of goals. But 2-1's always the safe scoreline. Seem we always win 2-1, or seem to always win 2-1. But I'm not going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go 2-0. We're going to keep a clean sheet in the Premier League again. It's going to be great. It's going to be just a traditional Villa win. Get one in the first half, get one in the second half, see them off, send them back to London as you do. Jakey, do you want to give us our socials a bit of a plug?
Yeah, we had quite a big response on our Twitter when Tammy Abraham got announced earlier in the week. Was absolutely huge. But yeah, keep smashing those follows for us. We've been inundated with followers over the last couple of days, especially on Twitter and Instagram. Keep smashing them. Keep putting in your comments below down on these. We will try and get there as quick as we can to respond. We want to respond to you guys. We want to interact with you guys. So keep your eyes out on socials. And yeah, we'd love to see you guys and interact with you. Quick one from me. Duncan's asked Bizzo to start. I'm going to put it to you boys.
It depends on what side of the bed Martinez wakes up on, really.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to Bizzo starting, to be honest.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just don't think if Martinez is fine, then Martinez will play. Usually last Sunday, as an example, he was sensational. But yeah, it just depends on what he fancies on the day of the game, really. But I guess the beauty of it is Bizzo is not Olsen, so he will do a job if he needs to.
And you're not wrong there. He definitely isn't Olsen. I think he's far from that. I mean, as I was said, I mean, if Martinez is fit, Martinez plays. I think he's such a good goalkeeper. He proved it against Newcastle. I mean, Bizzo's no No, Olsen, I guess the way to put it. That's the way we're going to put it these days. But he can hold his own. He was number one keeper in the Champions League last year. But, I mean, Martinez is superior. Duncan, I think for me, it's just, yeah. And Peter Caulfield, I'm not opening the bowling in cricket tomorrow. There is no way in hell I'll be doing that. No way in hell I'll be doing that.
It would be.
I apparently am opening the batting, so we are in some serious trouble if me and Peter are opening the batting together.
I mean, I don't mind that team that Kevin's put in there. I don't hate it. I mean, I think Louise will play. I honestly think Louise will play probably over Bogart, which is a bit stiff because he's been a very good player for us. But I mean, that team does look pretty decent to me. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah,
no, it wouldn't surprise me if he does start Bogart instead.
Bogart's been pretty good.
Yeah, it might make sense to not just throw Lewis in straight away. I know we kind of
line up there. Martinez, Cash, Consta, Torres, Matson, Onana, Louise, Buendia.
Everyone seems to be on the same.
Yeah,
everyone seems to be on the same sort of wavelength. Like the two teams there is one midfield change and a winger change that do the same job anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So at least we're all kind of on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I think that's all we kind of got to cover, isn't it, boys? I can't think of anything else we've got to touch on.
Nope.
Do we think, just quickly, yes or no? We don't need to go into the details of it. Do we sign anyone else before Monday?
No.
I don't think we can.
Yeah.
I don't think we can.
I mean, with there being Gasson going, we probably could get someone else in, but I just don't think we will.
I guess we don't need to with Sancho and Bailey.
No. I think still, keep developing the young players that are coming through because we've got a good crop coming through.
Yeah. Well, guys, until next time, up the Villa. I think we'll be live Monday morning UK time, Monday night Australia time, up to Brentford. Yeah. So until next time, guys, up the Villa and OT. Thanks again for coming on. And
keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for the Gasson rant as well. I'm sure.
Yes, I'm excited to see the Gasson rant everywhere because I think you love him. To be honest with you, OT.
I'd rather it didn't do numbers actually, but keep an eye out for it anyway.
Timestamp that.
Yeah.
See you guys.